Welcome back to the channel The Coin Empire. Today we are diving into one of the most fascinating and unbelievable stories in the world of coin collecting, a story that turns an ordinary pocket change into a potential fortune, because we are talking about the 1990 65-cent coin that has stunned collectors with claims and possibilities of reaching an astonishing value of up to $87 million. And while that number may sound unbelievable at first, once you understand the rare errors, minting mistakes, and unique conditions that can exist in coins like this, you will begin to see how such incredible valuations can even be imagined in the numismatic world. So let's take a deep journey into what makes this coin so special, starting with the basics. The 1990 65-cent coin, also known as a Jefferson nickel, was minted in Denver and features the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse. Millions of these coins were produced, making it seem at first like nothing more than an everyday coin, but hidden among these millions are extremely rare variations and errors that can transform an otherwise ordinary coin into a collector's dream. And one of the biggest reasons for such a high potential value is the presence of major minting errors, which occur during the coin production process when something goes wrong at the mint. These errors can range from small imperfections to dramatic and unique anomalies that make a coin one of a kind, and collectors are always searching for these because rarity drives value. One of the most valuable types of errors is a double die error, where the coin design is struck more than once in slightly different positions, creating a noticeable doubling effect on the letters, numbers, or images. If a 1990 60 nickel were to have an extreme and clearly visible double die error, especially on key areas like the date or Jefferson's profile, it could significantly increase its value. Another highly sought-after mistake is an off-center strike, where the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, resulting in part of the design missing and a blank area appearing on the coin. The more dramatic the off-center strike while still retaining the date and mint mark, the more valuable the coin becomes, and in some rare cases, collectors are willing to pay extraordinary amounts for coins that display these striking visual anomalies. Then there are planchet errors, which occur before the coin is even struck. The planchet is the blank metal disc that becomes a coin, and if something goes wrong during its preparation, such as incorrect metal composition, improper thickness, or contamination, it can lead to highly unusual coins. Imagine a 1990 60 nickel struck on a planchet intended for a different denomination, or made from the wrong alloy. Such a coin would be extremely rare and highly desirable, and if verified, it could be worth a fortune. Another fascinating possibility is the presence of a full steps designation on the Monticello building on the reverse of the coin. While this is not an error, it is a condition rarity. Coins with fully visible steps are much harder to find because the details are often weakly struck or worn down in circulation. A pristine 1990 60 nickel with full steps and in perfect uncirculated condition could fetch a very high price among collectors, especially if it is graded at the highest levels by professional grading services. And that brings us to another critical factor in determining value: condition. Coins are graded on a scale, and those in mint state condition with no wear, sharp details, and original luster are far more valuable than circulated coins. A 1990 60 nickel in near perfect condition combined with a rare error could be considered unique, and uniqueness is where the possibility of astronomical values comes into play. Then there are die cracks and die breaks, which occur when the dies used to strike coins begin to wear out or crack. These imperfections can leave raised lines or unusual shapes on the coin's surface, sometimes creating dramatic and visually striking features that collectors love. A large and well-defined die break, sometimes referred to as a cud, can make a coin stand out as a rare error piece, and if such a feature appears on a 1990 60 nickel in combination with other errors, its value could skyrocket. Another possibility is a broad strike error, where the coin is struck without the retaining collar, causing it to spread out and lose its standard shape. These coins often appear larger and thinner than normal, and their unusual appearance makes them highly collectible. And let's not forget about clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin is missing due to a cutting error during the planchet production process. These coins have a distinctive curved or straight missing section and are highly sought after, especially when the error is clean and clearly visible. Now when we talk about values reaching tens of millions of dollars, it is important to understand that such numbers are usually based on extreme rarity, uniqueness, and collector demand. A coin that combines multiple rare errors, is in perfect condition, and has a compelling story behind it could theoretically reach such extraordinary valuations in private sales or auctions. Especially if two or more wealthy collectors are competing to own a one-of-a-kind piece, the psychology of collecting plays a huge role here, because collectors are not just buying a coin, they are buying history, rarity, and the thrill of owning something that almost no one else has, and sometimes that emotional value can push prices to unbelievable heights. Another factor that can influence value is provenance, or the history of ownership. If a 1990-60 nickel with rare errors was previously owned by a famous collector or featured in a well-known collection, it could add to its desirability and value, and certification by reputable grading companies is also crucial, because it provides authentication and ensures that the coin is genuine, protecting buyers and increasing confidence in the purchase. Now imagine finding such a coin in your own pocket change or an old jar of coins at home. It may sound like a dream, but stories like this have happened before, where rare coins were discovered in circulation and later sold for significant amounts. Which is why it is always worth taking a closer look at your coins, paying attention to details like unusual markings, misalignments, or anything that looks different from a standard coin. Even small differences can be the key to discovering something valuable. And for those who are serious about coin collecting, investing in magnification tools and learning about different types of errors can greatly increase your chances of identifying rare coins. The 1990 65-cent coin serves as a perfect example of how something seemingly ordinary can become extraordinary under the right circumstances. And while not every coin will be worth millions, the possibility is what makes the hobby so exciting. It is a treasure hunt that anyone can participate in, regardless of experience or budget, and every coin you examine brings the potential for discovery. So the next time you come across a 1990-60 nickel, don't just spend it without a second thought. Take a moment to inspect it carefully, because you might just be holding a piece of history that could change your life. And that is the magic of coin collecting, where even the smallest and most overlooked objects can hold unimaginable value waiting to be uncovered. Next, 2002 5-cent coin. Today we are diving into an absolutely fascinating and potentially life-changing story hidden in the world of everyday pocket change, a story that proves that even the smallest and most ordinary-looking coins can hold unimaginable value if you know exactly what to look for. And today's spotlight is on the 2002 5-cent coin, a coin that at first glance seems completely ordinary but in rare cases has been linked to astonishing claims of reaching values as high as $84 million due to a combination of extremely rare errors, unique minting mistakes, and mysterious variations that continue to excite collectors and treasure hunters around the world. Now imagine holding a simple nickel in your hand, something you might normally overlook or spend without a second thought, and then discovering that this small piece of metal could actually be worth more than luxury mansions, private jets, and fortunes combined. It sounds unbelievable, but the truth is that the coin collecting world is full of such surprising stories, and the 2002 nickel is one of those coins that has captured attention because of the rare and unusual features that can turn it into a collector's dream come true. To truly understand how this coin could reach such an extraordinary value, we need to explore the hidden details behind minting errors, production anomalies, and the unique circumstances that can transform a 5-cent coin into a multi-million-dollar rarity. The 2002 nickel was minted in Denver, which is what the mint mark represents, and millions of these coins were produced for circulation, making them extremely common in general. However, within those millions of coins there can be a very small number that were struck under unusual conditions, leading to errors that are highly sought after by collectors. These errors are not just simple imperfections but can include dramatic visual differences, missing design elements, double impressions, and even structural abnormalities that make the coin stand out in a significant way. One of the most valuable types of errors that can be found on a 2002 nickel is a double die error. This occurs when the coin's design is impressed onto the die more than once but slightly misaligned, creating a noticeable doubling effect on the lettering, numbers, or portrait. This type of error is incredibly valuable because it originates during the die creation process, meaning every coin struck with that die will carry the same doubling feature. However, finding a strong and Clearly visible double die on a 2002D nickel is extremely rare, and when combined with pristine condition it can drive the value up dramatically. Another fascinating error is the off-center strike, where the coin is not properly aligned during the striking process, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted. This can create a visually striking coin that looks incomplete yet highly collectible. The more dramatic the off-center strike while still retaining the date and mint mark, the more valuable the coin becomes, and in some extreme cases these coins can command enormous prices, especially when they are one of a kind or part of a very limited group struck under those conditions. Then there is the possibility of a broad strike error, where the coin is struck without the retaining collar, causing it to spread out beyond its normal size, resulting in a coin that appears wider and thinner than usual. These errors are less common but still highly prized among collectors because they clearly demonstrate a breakdown in the minting process, adding to the uniqueness of the coin. Another highly valuable error type is the clipped planchet, where a portion of the coin is missing due to an improperly cut blank before the striking process. This creates a curved or straight missing section on the coin, and depending on the size and shape of the clip, the value can increase significantly, especially if the coin is otherwise in excellent condition. Perhaps one of the most intriguing and valuable possibilities associated with the 2002D nickel is the concept of a wrong planchet error. This occurs when a coin is struck on a blank intended for a different denomination, or even a different metal composition altogether. Imagine a nickel being struck on a planchet meant for a dime, or even a foreign coin. This would result in a coin that is noticeably different in size, weight, or color, making it extremely rare and highly desirable. These types of errors are incredibly scarce and can fetch astronomical prices, especially if authenticated and preserved in top condition. And when collectors talk about coins reaching values in the tens of millions, they are often referring to these kinds of once-in-a-lifetime discoveries that combine rarity, condition, and historical significance into a single piece. The condition of the coin also plays a massive role in determining its value. Coins that are in mint state, meaning they have never been circulated and retain their original luster and detail, are far more valuable than those that show signs of wear, scratches, or damage. Grading systems are used by experts to assign a condition rating to each coin, and even a small difference in grade can mean a huge difference in value. For rare error coins like the 2002D nickel, collectors are always searching for specimens that not only have unique errors but are also in the highest possible grade, because these represent the best examples available and can command the highest prices. Another factor that can contribute to the incredible value of a 2002D nickel is the possibility of a mule error. This is when a coin is struck using dies that were not intended to be paired together. For example, a nickel design combined with a die from another denomination, creating a completely mismatched coin that should never exist. These errors are extremely rare and often considered among the most valuable in the numismatic world because they represent a major mistake at the mint that somehow made it into circulation or escape detection. If a 2002D nickel were discovered with such a mule error, it could easily become one of the most valuable coins ever found. Adding to the mystery and excitement is the role of human oversight and mechanical failure in the minting process. Even with modern technology, mistakes can and do happen, and when they do, they sometimes slip through quality control, creating rare coins that collectors dream of finding. The idea that such a coin could still be out there waiting to be discovered in loose change or forgotten collections keeps enthusiasts constantly searching and examining every coin they come across with great attention to detail and patience. The story of the 2002D nickel also highlights the importance of knowledge in the world of coin collecting. Knowing what to look for, understanding the different types of errors, and being able to subtle differences can make the difference between overlooking a fortune and making a life-changing discovery. Many valuable coins have been found by ordinary people who simply took the time to learn and pay attention to the small details that others ignored, and that is what makes this hobby so exciting and accessible to anyone willing to put in the effort. While claims of a coin being worth $84 million may sound exaggerated or based on the most extreme and rare scenarios, they serve as a powerful reminder of the potential hidden in everyday objects and the incredible stories behind them. Whether or not a specific 2002D nickel has actually sold for such an amount, the possibility of rare and valuable variations existing is very real and continues to drive interest and exploration in the coin collecting community. So the next time you come across a nickel, take a closer look, examine the date, the mint mark, the surface, and the details, because you never know what you might find hidden in plain sight. A small mistake, a tiny imperfection, or an unusual feature could be the key to unlocking a fortune. And turning an ordinary moment into an extraordinary discovery. And that is the magic of coin collecting, where history, mystery, and opportunity come together in the palm of your hand. And as always, keep searching, keep learning, and keep believing, because your next big discovery could be just one coin away. Next, 1997 5-cent coin. Today we are uncovering another jaw-dropping mystery from the world of coin collecting, where ordinary pocket change can turn into extraordinary treasure. And today's story revolves around the 1997 5-cent coin, a seemingly simple nickel that has captured the imagination of collectors and treasure hunters because of the incredible possibility that under the right circumstances and with the right combination of rare minting errors and unique characteristics, it could be worth an astonishing $80 million. And while that number might sound unbelievable at first, it represents the extreme end of what can happen when rarity, condition, history, and demand collide into one perfect storm of value. Now picture this: you are going through your spare change, maybe coins sitting in a jar or tucked away in an old drawer, and among them is a 1997 nickel, something you might not even look at twice. But what if that coin held secrets hidden within its surface, tiny details and flaws that could transform it from a 5-cent piece into one of the most valuable coins ever discovered? This is exactly what drives the passion behind coin collecting, because sometimes the smallest differences can mean the biggest rewards. The 1997 nickel was minted in Denver as indicated by the D mint mark, and millions upon millions of these coins were produced for circulation, which means that most of them are still only worth their face value. However, within those millions there can exist a handful of coins that were struck under unusual conditions, creating rare errors that collectors are constantly searching for. These errors are not just minor imperfections, but often dramatic and highly visible anomalies that make the coin stand out in a significant way. One of the most talked about and valuable types of errors that could be found on a 1997 nickel is the double die error. This occurs during the die creation process, when the design is impressed onto the die more than once at slightly different angles, causing a doubling effect that can be seen on the coin itself. This doubling might appear on the date, the lettering, or even on the portrait, and the stronger and more noticeable the doubling, the more valuable the coin becomes, because it indicates a significant error at the earliest stage of production. And coins struck from such a die are considered highly collectible, especially if they are well preserved and easy to identify. Another fascinating error that could dramatically increase the value of a 1997 nickel is an off-center strike. This happens when the coin blank is not properly aligned with the dies during striking, resulting in a coin where part of the design is missing or shifted to one side. The visual impact of an off-center strike can be quite striking, and the value depends on how much of the design is off-center and whether the date and mint mark are still visible, because collectors prefer coins where the error is obvious but the identity of the coin can still be confirmed. Then there is the broad strike error, which occurs when the coin is struck without the retaining collar that normally keeps it within a fixed shape and size. This results in a coin that spreads outward, becoming larger and thinner than normal with distorted edges. These coins are highly collectible because they clearly show a breakdown in the minting process and are much less common than standard coins, adding to their appeal and potential value. Clipped planchet errors are another possibility for the 1997 nickel, and these occur before the coin is even struck, when the metal strip used to create blanks is improperly cut, resulting in a coin that is missing a portion of its edge. The missing section can take on a curved or straight shape, and the uniqueness of each clipped coin adds to its desirability, especially if the rest of the coin is in excellent condition, because it provides a clear example of a production mistake that slipped through the minting process. Perhaps one of the most exciting and valuable possibilities is the wrong planchet error, where a 1997 nickel is struck on a blank intended for a different denomination or even a different metal composition altogether. This can result in a coin that looks noticeably different in size, weight, or color, and such errors are extremely rare because they require a mix-up at the mint that is not easily overlooked if discovered and authenticated. A wrong planchet error can command incredible prices because of its rarity, and the story behind how it came to be. Another extraordinary possibility is the mule error, which occurs when dies from two different coins are mistakenly paired together, creating a hybrid coin that should not exist. For example, if a nickel design were combined with a die from another denomination, it would result in a completely unique coin that collectors would consider a once-in-a-lifetime find. These types of errors are among the rarest in the world, and when they do surface, they often attract significant attention, and can sell for enormous amounts, especially if they are in pristine condition and well documented. Die cracks and die breaks are also worth mentioning because they can create raised lines or unusual shapes on the surface of the coin. These occur when the die begins to deteriorate after repeated use, and while minor die cracks are relatively common, more dramatic breaks can create highly distinctive coins that stand out from the rest and are valued by collectors for their uniqueness and character. Another factor that can push the value of a 1997 D nickel toward extraordinary levels is the condition of the coin. Coins that are in mint state, meaning they have never been circulated and show no signs of wear, are significantly more valuable than those that have been used in everyday transactions. Grading services evaluate coins based on their condition and assign a grade that reflects their quality, and even a small difference in grade can result in a large difference in value for rare coins, especially those with unique errors. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins that combine rare errors with high grades because these represent the best of the best and are often the most desirable pieces in any collection. The story of the 1997 D nickel also highlights the role of chance and discovery in the world of coin collecting. Many valuable coins have been found in the most unexpected places, from pocket change to old collections passed down through generations, and the idea that such a valuable coin could still be out there waiting to be discovered adds an element of excitement and possibility that keeps collectors searching and examining every coin they come across with great care and attention to detail. It is this sense of mystery and potential that makes coin collecting such a fascinating hobby, because you never know when you might stumble upon something truly extraordinary. While the idea of a 1997 D nickel being worth $80 million represents the most extreme and rare scenario, it serves as a powerful reminder of what is possible when rarity, demand, and uniqueness come together in a single coin. It is important to understand that not every 1997 D nickel will be valuable, but those with significant errors, unusual characteristics, and exceptional condition can be worth far more than their face value, and in some cases can reach astonishing prices that capture the imagination of collectors and enthusiasts around the world. So the next time you come across a nickel, take a moment to really look at it, examine the details, check for any unusual features, and consider the possibility that you might be holding something much more valuable than you realize, because in the world of coin collecting, even the smallest mistake can turn into the biggest opportunity, and your next great discovery could be hiding in plain sight, just waiting for you to notice it. Last 2002 P5-cent coin. Today we are diving into yet another unbelievable story from the fascinating world of coin collecting, where even the smallest piece of change can carry a hidden fortune, and today's spotlight is on the 2002 P5-cent coin, a coin that most people would never think twice about, but under the right circumstances, and with the presence of extremely rare minting errors and unusual characteristics, it has been associated with staggering claims of reaching values as high as $78 million, and while that number represents the most extreme and rare scenario, it highlights the incredible potential that can exist within ordinary coins if they happen to possess the perfect combination of rarity, condition, and unique minting mistakes. Now imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out a simple nickel, and realizing that this small everyday object could potentially be worth more than luxury homes, high-end cars, and entire fortunes combined. It sounds almost impossible, but in the world of numismatics, these kinds of discoveries have happened and continue to inspire collectors around the globe. The 2002 P nickel was minted in Philadelphia, which is indicated by the P mint mark, and like most modern coins, it was produced in massive quantities for circulation, meaning the vast majority of these coins are only worth their face value. However, within those millions of coins, there can be a very small number that were struck under unusual conditions, resulting in rare and highly desirable errors that collectors are constantly searching for. And it is these rare anomalies that can transform an otherwise ordinary coin into something truly extraordinary. One of the most significant and valuable types of errors that could be found on a 2002 P nickel is the double die error. This occurs during the creation of the die when the design is impressed onto it more than once at slightly different angles, resulting in a visible doubling effect on the coin itself. This doubling can appear on the lettering, the date, or even the portrait, and when it is strong and clearly visible, it becomes highly sought after because it represents a major flaw in the die-making process. Coins with pronounced double die errors are often among the most valuable in the hobby, especially when they are found in excellent condition and are easy to identify. Another type of error that can dramatically increase the value of a 2002 P nickel is an off-center strike. This happens when the coin blank is not properly aligned with the dies during the striking process, causing the design to be shifted off-center, and sometimes leaving part of the coin blank, completely missing the more dramatic the off-center strike while still retaining key identifying features such as the date and mint mark. The more valuable the coin becomes because collectors appreciate errors that are both visually striking and clearly identifiable. Broad strike errors are also a possibility and occur when the coin is struck without the retaining collar. That normally keeps it within a fixed shape and size, resulting in a coin that spreads outwards, becoming larger and thinner than usual with distorted edges. These coins are relatively rare and highly collectible because they clearly demonstrate a breakdown in the minting process, adding to their uniqueness and appeal. Clipped planchet errors provide another fascinating possibility for the 2002p nickel. These occur before the coin is struck, when the metal strip used to create blanks is improperly cut, resulting in a coin that is missing a portion of its edge. The shape of the missing section can vary, and each clipped coin is unique, making them particularly interesting to collectors, especially when the rest of the coin remains in high-grade condition. Perhaps one of the most exciting and valuable errors that could be associated with a 2002p nickel is the wrong planchet error. This occurs when a coin is struck on a blank, intended for a different denomination or even a different metal composition altogether, resulting in a coin that looks noticeably different in size, weight, or color. These types of errors are extremely rare because they require a significant mix-up during the minting process, and when they are discovered they often command very high prices due to their rarity and the story behind their creation. Another extraordinary possibility is the mule error, which occurs when dies from two different coins are mistakenly paired together, creating a hybrid coin that should not exist. For example, if a nickel design were combined with a die from another denomination, it would result in a completely unique and highly valuable coin. These errors are among the rarest in the world and are highly prized by collectors because of their unusual nature, and the fact that they represent a major mistake at the mint. Die cracks and die breaks are also worth mentioning because they can create raised lines or unusual shapes on the surface of the coin. These occur when the die begins to deteriorate after repeated use, and while minor die cracks are relatively common, more dramatic breaks can result in highly distinctive coins that stand out and are valued for their uniqueness and character. Another factor that plays a crucial role in determining the value of a 2002p nickel is its condition. Coins that are in mint state, meaning they have never been circulated and retain their original luster and detail, are significantly more valuable than those that show signs of wear, scratches, or damage. Professional grading services evaluate coins based on their condition and assign a grade that reflects their quality, and even a small difference in grade can have a huge impact on value, especially for coins with rare errors. Collectors are always searching for coins that combine unique errors with high grades because these represent the finest examples available and are often the most desirable pieces in any collection. The story of the 2002p nickel also highlights the importance of knowledge and attention to detail in the world of coin collecting. Many valuable coins have been discovered by individuals who simply took the time to closely examine their change and learn about the different types of errors and variations that can occur. Knowing what to look for and being able to recognize subtle differences can make the difference between overlooking a valuable coin and making a life-changing discovery. It is this combination of curiosity, patience, and knowledge that makes coin collecting such a rewarding and exciting hobby. While claims of a 2002p nickel being worth $78 million may represent the most extreme and rare scenarios, they serve as a powerful reminder of the hidden potential within everyday objects and the incredible stories that can be found in even the smallest details. Whether or not such a coin has actually reached that level of value, the possibility of rare and highly valuable variations existing is very real and continues to drive interest and exploration in the numismatic community. So the next time you come across a nickel, take a moment to examine it closely. Look at the date, the mint mark, the surface, and the details, because you never know what you might find hidden in plain sight. A small mistake, a tiny imperfection, or an unusual feature could be the key to unlocking a fortune and turning an ordinary moment into an extraordinary discovery. And that is the true magic of coin collecting, where history, craftsmanship, and chance come together in the palm of your hand. And as you continue your journey, always remember that every coin has a story, and sometimes that story can be worth far more than you ever imagined, because the next time you check your pocket change, you might just be holding a rare piece of history waiting to be discovered and transformed into something truly priceless. And that is why collectors around the world remain passionate and dedicated, constantly searching, learning, and sharing their discoveries, because The thrill of finding something rare and valuable is unlike anything else, and the 2002 P5-cent coin stands as a perfect example of how even the most ordinary coin can become extraordinary under the right conditions, encouraging everyone to take a closer look at the coins they encounter, and to never underestimate the potential hidden within everyday objects, because the journey of discovery is what makes this hobby so exciting and rewarding, and who knows, your next coin could be the one that changes everything forever.